down, as you can see. When everything is good, we will look at the results from today's race in JAR in the real Sailplane Grand Prix to see who's been qualified for the final. World final in 2023, and then we will have a look at the race results from yesterday and overall results of the virtual SGP and try to bet on the pilots tonight, who's gonna qualify to the second virtual SGP World Final 2023. So we have a good race today with more than 200 kilometers. We'll talk about all of that before the race starts, and it should start in 25 minutes, so we have quite some time to do that. Yesterday was 192 kilometers already, and the winner was Norbert Kiss with 157 kph, which was a really fast race in 1 hour and 46 minutes for him. And we are already in Condor, so that's quite good, and pilots are connecting to the servers now. You can join us tonight on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And you can say hi already in the chat. We will talk about plenty of stuff tonight about this event, the virtual event, the LS3 coming out. I think it's on Monday. And then we will have, or maybe even tomorrow, I'll have to check. And we will have to talk about other things. Sailplane Grand Prix of Lithuania coming, Varese in Italy as well. We'll just have 1 week in between this Sailplane Grand Prix and the one in Lithuania, so it's going to be really nice to follow. Good. I'm checking if you are all coming now. And it should be better now. I think there was some background sound here where you could hear my voice twice. Anyway, we are live now. And the pilots are here. So it's 18-meter class in JAR and basically for all Sailplane Grand Prix. But in 2 weeks in Lithuania, it's going to be all 15-meter class with SW20 and LS3 only. And it's going to be a maximum 43 kilos per meter square wing loading. It's going to be a quite interesting event to do I think it's in 10 days now. On the 29th, it should start. We'll look at that in a few moments.
Hello,
And
Anton.
we are with Sebastian tonight. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thanks. A good race tonight for us and for the public to watch on the CWC scenery landscape. So in Poland, so it's going to be quite cool.
Okay, did you had a look to the real race today in ZAR?
No, I was at work. I checked the results, so I know who's won actually today and who's been qualified. So they didn't have enough pilots actually in Poland. So unfortunately, there is only one pilot who qualifies to the world final instead of two. And I can already say that it's Lukas Grabowski who qualified to the event. And they had a very long race week because they could have had up to 8 races. In the end, they had, I think, 7 races with only 1 day off, indeed. But 8 is a lot. Yeah, so that's the results with Lukas Grabowski with 40 points. Marek Sosuk with 26 points. Tilo Aliaus with 24. Stanislas Biela 22. And then it goes down to 4, and as you can see, only 8 pilots scored points, and roughly 10 pilots only flew the event, unfortunately, for Tsar. So only Lucas qualifies for the final, joining Sebastian Kawa, the world champion from last year, from the previous final, and joining Stefan Langer and Klaus Kalmar, who were on first and second position in Borås for the Sailplane Grand Prix of Sweden. So that's it.
Okay, so maybe someone else will join to comment with you, Antoine?
Yeah, there should be Benfest coming in a few minutes with us, at least for half of the race, maybe the full race. We will see how much time he can come. But yeah, we're gonna have Ben coming with us, so it's good to have an expert on Condor joining us tonight.
Okay, maybe it can be also interesting to have a look to the Condor results, the virtual gliding FGP results.
Yeah, you can go on. Let's look at that. So that's the overall results up to race 6. So in Condor, we started the event one day after because the virtual GP of Sweden and Poland were overlapping each other. So pilots could not fly both events. So we started one day after. To be valid, championship needs to be between 6 to 8 races long, maximum 6 to 8 days, and you just need one race actually to have the championship valid. They've flown 6 races already. It's going to be the 7th one tonight, so quite a busy week again for the pilots. And we have Kuba, who was really, really good already in Sweden, who is leading right now with 4,700 points roughly. Then Mireille Knaus from Hungary with 4,500 points. Stuart Henschel completes the podium with 4,250 points. They are quite close, and today the winner gets 100 points as a bonus. So actually, Stewart can easily win the overall, or he can even be second. He has quite some margin to take. I think they're quite close in the top 3, so anyone can win in that top 3. Then we have Arthur Dziuk from Poland, Zbigniew Skos from Poland as well, with around roughly 4,000 points. David Redman and Alex Holzfilter, they are really good pilots as well, often in the top 3. Tim Madsen as well, Norbert Kies, Jarmo from Finland, Creso Rastovek, always here, Sean Churchill, Richard Badam, Clinton Glover, Cristiano Moreira from Brazil, Ernesto Durigon. He's done a podium in the Virtual GP of Sweden as well. So quite some people that we know here and that are racing very well in that top 20, I can say. So it's going to be really fun tonight, I think.
Okay, do you know who is flying tonight?
I don't know yet.
Okay,
I guess the top 20 at least.
I hope so. Yeah, for them.
Yeah, because with that bonus, yeah, might be important to catch some points. But it was 2 very busy weeks for those pilots who were flying, actually. So yeah, I guess maybe if they are already out of the race to qualify, maybe some of them will not come tonight. I don't know, actually. So we will see.
Okay, so Ben, if you are joining, please knock the door to say you are there. And we are going to the live race in
Now
Condor.
with Kresimir Rastovek from Croatia. Very good pilot as well. He flew the first virtual SGP World Final last year in September. I'm just checking the map. Do we know what's the town here? It's close to Bielsko-Biała or something like this, I guess. Yes. And I need to check the race of the day as well. Yes. So today it's gonna be 215 kilometers. They're gonna go straight to the west and then southeast and come back. We'll see that later on. That's the start line here, 0.003. That is very close from the airfield. It's just to the south of the airfield. Yeah, and then that's turn point one, sorry, in front of you. Turn point one, which is 6283 neck. So that's a 42 kilometers leg. Then turn point two will be Oravice with 92 kilometers. Then turn point three, Przygiełk, 73 kilometers, and we'll end up in Jar. So from the reporting point to the finish, only 7 kilometers. Yeah, as you can see, that's going to be really nice and a really fun mandatory reporting point here, I think. And the arrival in just abeam, the reservoir of Jar is really nice as well. So we're probably going to enjoy a lot tonight. So today is the international tea day or something like this. So enjoy your tea. So here we can see the airfield. You have the reservoir of Jar just next to my face. Let's see. Yeah, just here is the reservoir there. Yeah. So that's the finish line here, and below there is a ski slope from the reservoir going to the airfield, basically. And then above, just below GKK, like you can see here, is the airfield. So it's really, really fun. It's a very upsloped airfield when you're landing. It's always facing the mountain to land. There, quite interesting finish and arrival.
So it seems that Ben is somewhere here, just joining.
Good, very good. So the race should start in 13 minutes, I believe. Seb, I don't know if you have the exact timing of that.
We can display this, I think. 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Before?
No.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 minutes.
No.
Very good. And everyone says eyes to each other as well. We've been able to see the chat. It's really cool. So how many pilots are connected now, Seb? Maybe we can have the score table to check
I
who's
can't
there.
share this easily. So there is 22 pilots connected.
Okay, so probably the top 15 at least, plus some guys, and then on the other slots tonight and tomorrow, we'll probably have 40 or 50 pilots flying the final race, I guess. Let's see. So as you can see, unfortunately, Norman is not here tonight, but he will be back for sure for the next events. He just was not available for the last races. I think you all enjoyed having him. He's made really great commentaries for the live, so it was really good to follow, and I think everyone enjoyed in the chat as well. So already, if you have some question, you can ask in the chat now, and we'll try to answer that about anything. It can be around about the race, it can be about gliding, about Sailplane Grand Prix, virtual Sailplane Grand Prix, any other event, virtual gliding or whatever. Just ask. Good evening, Cristiano. I can see that you shared your YouTube link, and I think that you're live streaming tonight. So if you want to have an inside view from the cockpit, you can click on his link. It's on the webpage virtualgliding.fai.org/live, and it's as well on the Twitch .tv/FAI virtual gliding that you can see that. So it's all good. We are waiting for Ben to join us in a few minutes, I think. You can tell us in the chat as well if you flew today, because I think the weather conditions are not so bad at the moment in Europe. So a bit windy sometimes in some parts of Europe, but I think a lot of people enjoy it. I've seen that the Baltic Cup ended today as well. I flew over Pochunai yesterday, so it was really nice, really fun to see these airfields. I flew there already twice in 2015 and 16. Really nice airfield atmosphere, really nice people in Lithuania as well, and the next SGP is in Lithuania, so it's going to be really nice. Not in Pochinai, but in Paluknis, and I flew just over Paluknis as well. So that's southwest of Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. So yeah, great. I think we'll have a great Grand Prix there. It will be really fun to fly as well in Condor, I think, with the new LS3 coming out tomorrow or in 2 days. I'm just gonna check that now. If it's tomorrow or not. So Condor, the complete soaring simulator, and they said, yeah, it's tomorrow at 12, Sunday at 12. 12, I
12
don't know if it's,
UTC?
I think it's UTC, but I'm not sure. I think it's UTC.
Okay, so it seems that Ben has some difficulties to join. Ben, if you hear us, you can check your Discord chat.
So the pilots are waiting to take the start. 8 minutes. Maybe we can look at the race quickly, Seb, if you have this close by.
You mean this view?
As you want. It can be this one or the other one. It's good with this one as well. If we can see the turn point 2, it's good at some point.
I can't move to the turn point 2.
Yeah, but, and if you go slightly like this,
Okay,
no?
I need to... Oops.
Let's see, guys. Let's see what we can have. But what I can tell you is that the race is 215 kilometers long. The start, as you can see, is 003. 0.003. Maximum altitude is 1,600 meters for the start. And max speed 170 kph. Wind is from the northwest, so they have to be careful because I can see 45 kilometers of wind. That's quite a lot. Thermal activity is normal, and there are some clouds, but not a lot. It might not be easy for the pilots, but team is at 1,800 meters, so it's okay. I didn't see the cloud base yet. We will have a look at that later on. Can we look at turn point 1 then? Trinex, so 42 kilometers. To go to Trinex, so that's to the west. As you can see, there are some mountains to go there, some hills. But yeah, more or less aligned with the wind. I think the first one is well aligned, and then it's not going to be easy to reach, but they should be able to climb. Then we will go down to the southeast to turn point 2 that you cannot see yet. Anyway, it's 92 kilometers between turn point 1 and turn point 2. And then turn point 2 to turn point 3, 73 kilometers going up again, as you can see. And then turn point 3 is the mandatory reporting point that they have to reach at minimum 752 meters. And then the arrival in Jar, the reservoir Jar Fin, for finish is at minimum 752 meters as well. So they need to arrive above that altitude, otherwise we cannot score them. We are with Tim Madsen. So Tim, I think, is nicely placed on the race results, but it's not enough to be qualified tonight. I think Tim is on the 8th position overall with 6 races, 3,400 points. So it's not going to be enough yet for Tim. He will have other chances to qualify. There are still 8 events then following. So tonight we will get 2 more names who will compete to the world final. So there are going to be 5 people already registered to the world final. That's going to go fast. Nice
So,
view.
who do you think will win tonight, Antoine?
Win, it's difficult to say. I think for the who will qualify, it's in the top 4. I think that Arthur can still qualify. It's going to be very difficult for him. But he has only 5 races and not 6. So I think Arthur Duke is the favorite to qualify. Then we have Cuba. Then I would say Stewart and then Mirail Knaus. But I think Arthur will qualify. Maybe we'll have 2 Polish pilots with Arthur and Kuba. Plus Vitold will be already 3 Polish pilots in the final. That would be a lot. But Vitold trained all of them every evening for the past few weeks already. They trained on Condor on their own server or on other people's server, other task. They trained a lot. So just training pays off at some point. And those people are flying together for quite some time now, and they are very good at flying on Condor. So if we already have 3 Polish pilots who qualify tonight, it will be already amazing for the world final. It will mean something for them at least.
Two minutes and 50 seconds for the start.
Allez, 2 minutes 50. That's good. Do we have some clouds, Sebastian? Yes, it's quite good.
Too much clouds.
Maybe too much. It's good. It's gonna go fast, 215 kilometers. I think the ceiling is quite high, at more than 2,000 meters for sure. 2,300 maybe. We will see. It looks like high.
Yeah, it seems the weather is better than in real.
Yeah, I think in real life it's not as good. I'm gonna just check the speeds for today in real life. 100 kph for Tilo Aligos, who won the day. Yeah, so yeah, not easy.
Okay, so Ben is coming. I just need to do some tunings.
So as I said, Paluknis is on the 29th of May, so that's in 8 days. Okay, so 8 days. Then Varese on the 5th of June. So that's just after Paluknis. It ends up on the 4th. Then on the 5th we have Varese, which ends on the 11th of June. And then we have a long break between Varese and Eisenhüttenstadt in Germany. So that's cool. The pilots will be able to relax. Actually, the SDP planning is done in between the European and World Landing Championship events, so that pilots can come before to prepare for those events or after those events. So it only comes back more than 1 month later, 1 month and a half later, in July, late July in Germany, and then we have Livno just after the German Sailplane Grand Prix. And then after Livno, we'll have Vinon. So we will have basically 3 Sailplane Grand Prix in a row between end of July. No, I'm saying wrong things. We have two Sailplane Grand Prix in a row with Germany and Livno, and then we have 1 month break between Livno and Vino. So that's cool, guys. That's cool. And then in 2023, in January, we have Gawler, then Vitakura, and then we'll have Douglas Cape. Anyway, let's jump to the race. Hello, Ben. I think I think the start line is open in a few seconds now. It should be open now. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, it's gonna be really nice. What we can see already is Kelvin van Balen, the South African pilot, who's crossed the line, and we have everyone crossing the line behind now. KMI is after them. We have Kuba, Kilo Juliet there. But the first ones are just in front of you with Alex Holstwider with Jas. It's good. Checking everyone here. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, from northwest, I think the wind is northwest. But we will see. That's what I've seen in the task briefing. It was a wind from the 296 northwest, 45 kilometers per hour. So that's quite a lot if it's 45. I'm a bit surprised, but maybe it was like this. I didn't check the flight before. The task setters adapted the flight with the weather of today in Poland. So we will see. Actually, yeah, I think it's from northwest indeed, because we can see a big group being there on the north part of those ridges. So yeah.
Yeah, with that high winds, even just a small little hill can take you up a little bit,
Exactly.
and that's what you need to get a fast line, even though it's a big detour then. But with 45 kilometers per hour wind, I think that's the best way to go for today. So that's interesting that these guys going for a straight line right there.
Yeah. So what's your bet today, Ben? Who do you think will qualify? And then we'll talk about maybe the race. Who's going to win the race? Any of those or both? You can answer.
Yeah, I've looked in the overall results, and I've seen another pilot from last week at Boros. Was it Boros? Boros?
Boros.
Boros.
Yeah.
And it's Kilo Juliet. I think he will definitely make it today with his already earned points, and he did a great job in Sweden as well. And I think through these races, he will qualify. I think. But I think the second place will be interesting.
And Vitold is watching us as well. We couldn't hear you at the very, very beginning when you arrived, apparently, Ben, but it's solved now. Everyone can hear you. So Vitold is looking at his friends flying the race tonight. So I guess he will check if Kuba or Arthur or Zbisek can win and can get a ticket to the world final. as we said previously, they are training a lot every evening now. The Polish pilots. That's one of the strongest community now on Condor. So that's really cool to see that they are really trying to perform on the events and that they are training that much.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm already a bit scared of these guys. I think if they fly in a team in front, we had a lot of races where I was really sweating having these guys behind or then at the end in front. So I'm really looking forward to compete against them next summer.
I guess so. Actually, sometimes I'm like, I should try to compete and, and do those flights as well. I was very close to do one of the flights during the week, but I was just too tired to fly in the evening the race, so I didn't join. But I could have done that, and I was really close to do it, but in the end, I didn't do it. Yeah, maybe next week for Lithuania. Well, in 10 days for Lithuania or for Varese, maybe I will do 1 or 2 races just to see what's the level of everyone, and yeah, we will see.
Yeah, and then you can use the brand new LS3, which has been
Which is being released tomorrow.
yes.
It's gonna
So
be tomorrow.
that's a great plane done by Wieg Schoenemakers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really nice to have the Stefan Langer paint scheme for it. So I'm really looking forward to that plane.
Yeah, we will probably show some pictures of the LS3 tonight. So, did you have the chance to try it already, or?
I would have the chance, but to be
Yeah,
honest,
you
I
didn't
haven't
have
had
the
time to test it as well. So I'm surprised for tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I've tried it already, and it's really lovely to fly, honestly. And I really love the flight model of it, and I really love as well the cockpit. Yeah, it's just a great aircraft. So I think it's gonna be really nice to see it in 10 days, and as well for the club class events that we will do in the future, or just for the pilots flying a club class in the evening or whatsoever. It's going to be very interesting to see the LS3 now fighting.
Yeah, absolute. It's totally different kind of racing with these club class planes because you get very low, so you always need to stay on the good side of rather these thermal lines or these energy lines which you can take at the ridge, and that's a different kind of racing then.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of pilots love club class as well because you can fly any glider because of the handicap and so on. It's well compensated, and you can still win with a low cost glider. And the LS3 is a very good uh, uh, glider for its price, and people really love it. So I've never flown any LS3 yet. Maybe in the future we will see. Yeah, it's I think it's a great aircraft. I think Tim Milner from Great Britain was flying it. Stefan, of course. Some German pilots are flying it. So yeah, I think it's a good glider to
Yeah,
have in the game and in real life as well.
yeah, it's quite a rare one. I haven't seen it that often in the air, or I just didn't see the LS3 in it. I thought it was a LS4. Oh yeah. Why,
Yeah.
why is it so fast? Click, 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 click. Yeah, let's see. So let's have a look at the race right now. We have a few guys not having that much altitude above the ground level, but it seems like they're using the ridge lift right there.
Yeah, and it's more like hills rather than mountains and big ridges. So it's a bit tricky because they need to try to not to be on the bad side on the wrong side of the hills. But they still need to get some altitude with the cumuluses. And I think Kuba will try to get one air. We can see the wind coming from his right now, and maybe he will try to get something here. I hope for him. I think that's the plan, but
Yeah, there's a
If he's
shadow
not
above.
happy.
There might be a
Yeah.
cloud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And now going.
he's pulling up a little bit. Meanwhile, we see the other field being a little bit more to the south then, I guess,
Yeah.
with Kelvin van Baan and Kilo Mike India, and as well ZB Zulu Bravo Yankee. So a strong field over there as well, and they've decided for a kindly different route. So that will be interesting. For now, I think it's quite equal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. There are already big options taken by the pilots here. They are all spread out. Usually, we have one or two gaggle at that stage in the race, and they are already all spread out. But I think they will all join up at turn point one again, because we're gonna go from the hills towards flatlands, and then they will just fly straight to the turn point. So we should end up having everyone almost at turn point one at the same time, I believe. Can we see the clouds coverage above them? Yeah, just to see what are the options in front of them, because we don't know if it's good or bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, but the clouds are quite big. And I think today cumuluses were not that good because there was a lot of cirrus clouds apparently in Poland, and the clouds were like big but not very good. So only 100 kph for Tilo Oligos in the Ventus 3 today. So we'll probably fly much faster than that.
Yeah, absolute. With these high winds, it's way easier in Condor, I think, because if you have like 45 kilometers per hour wind in real life, I would think twice joining a glider or sitting in one. So it's a bit easier in Condor then, and the clouds above the hills, which has been triggered by the ridge lift, maybe these ones are the best ones today, I think. So maybe you can get a good lift before getting into the flatlands. But of course, it's a slight headwind on this part of the race, if I'm right.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And they're quite pushing actually. Yeah? As you can see, they are always going low like this, really pushing in between the small hills. So that's quite impressive to see. I think they just want to take something in the flatlands later on.
yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting to see David Redman in the middle right now, and he's not really facing for any kind of ridge, isn't he? Is he? Can't see it correctly, but
Oh yeah,
it seems like he's joining the lee side right there.
yeah, exactly. And we can already see the average speed on the left side of the screen. We have KMI leading with 133 kph, Jazz 132, and David Renman that we have in front of us, 131.2 kph, and now 131.7, leading the race now, David, at 840 meters. And there are some clouds, as we can see later on. We have the small, shadow there, and I think he's just going for it, and he will try to get the best thermal that he can. I don't know what's the average thermal today. Maybe 2.5 meters per second, maybe more. I don't know. We didn't have the time to look at that before the start of the race, so we will see. I will probably jump onto the live stream of Cristiano just to see what he has. Yeah, he's taking very good thermal behind actually Cristiano. He's been climbing in 4.2 meters per second, so it's really a strong thermal that he's at so far. Probably it was a good choice to stop here.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That's what I was talking about, getting a lift or a thermal right now and then getting up.
So yeah, we are back with Cristiano, as you can see on the screen, and he's really made it to the top of those clouds here, and he's reaching 1,900 meters, 9,000, almost 2,000 meters now. So that's really cool. And I can see on his streaming that he actually has a very cool skin for his glider, a bit yellow with some Brazil colors, I think. Really cool. We will try to download it for the next events. Really cool from him.
Yeah, and at the last Sailplane Grand Prix, we had like every nationality had its own paint scheme for these gliders. So I had a German Ventus 3 as well, which has been very well designed, and I was really happy to fly it. And there was glider for every nationality. And if we can see Cristiano right here, he's at a higher altitude. It's harder for him right now to get the ridge lift or to use the ridge lift at this part of the race. So it would be better to get a thermal at the end of the ridge and to get high then, and to skip the flatland part and maybe thermal on the second leg right then, because the others can use the lower energy from these small hills way better than he can use it right now. Of course, there's some lift on the top of that, but it's a little bit harder to find.
Yeah, so he stopped in a very good thermal, but now he has to catch up everyone that is from of him. You can see he's on position 20 now. Cristiano with 94 kph. Of course, he climbed up to 2,000 meters, and now we have KMI leading the race at 127 kph, but he will have to climb now. Mirail Knaus from Hungary is one of the leader of the event. He's on the second position now of the event with 4,477 points.
Yeah, and the others found a thermal as well right now. It's a bit better right there, because they are at the end of the ridge, and if they get high right now, they can just go for the next turn point, and after that see what's going on. Can join the hills easily, I think.
Exactly, and actually, the wind is from the almost 300 degrees. Okay, and now to the point is 319 degrees. So they are a bit. They have the wind in front of them, more or less, a bit slightly coming for the right, but more or less in front of them. So they will try just to get high enough to get to turn point one and then climb again after turn point one. There will be a full downhill from turn point one to turn point two. So it's gonna be a really fast leg between 1 and 2, and then it's going to be much more difficult between turn point 2 and turn point 3 for the pilots tonight.
I would have a look at his Vario. I think there's something wrong with his glider, isn't it? It's going down like
hell. I think it's on the wrong side maybe of the mountain here when I look at the wind. Plus it's flying very fast, and it's 250 kph, maybe a bit too fast at 48 kilos per meter square, but he has to fly that fast because the wind is not in his advantage, because as you can see, it's coming really in front of him and from the right, a bit from the right, but mainly in front of him, and then it will be much better now. Yeah, obviously, now that the mountain has passed.
Whoa, but that was hard for him. Look how he just got washed down by this.
Look at the others now; they are much higher.
That's a pity for him. He did a good decision right there, but it didn't work out at this part of the race. So he's getting low to the turn point right now, and I hope he has not to take a thermal before the turn point. But I hope.
We still have Vitold, I think, in the chat on Twitch. Do you have any bet for tonight, Vitold? Who would you like to come with you? I guess Arthur and Kuba for sure, but you can bet on the race instead of betting on the winners of the event. Maybe bet on the winner of the race. We'll see that in a few seconds if he's there.
Yeah,
So back with Stewart Henschel from Great Britain now leading.
he's leading towards the first turn point, and they have now altitude 880 meters above main sea level. That's not that high at this part of the race. I think the ground level is something like 200 or 300 meters, so they have only 500 meters above ground level. That's quite low.
That's quite low, but I think he's trying just to pass this turn point with that strong headwind. 45 kph is a lot. And Vitold is saying, yes, still here. You should ask who I don't want to win. just kidding. That's a very good question. So who don't you want to see? Vitold? I'm gonna take a guess now. I think he doesn't want to see maybe Mirail Knaus from Hungary because he is really good on Condor. Stewart Henschel, it's the first time I see him actually. So I think he was playing in Boros already, and he's done some good results, and in this event, quite good results as well. I don't know if you know him, Ben Stewart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good pilot as well. I think he has some really good days and some really bad ones. Not really bad, but sometimes it's like, what? How did he do it?
Yeah.
And that's like, oh. So I had a lot of races, but I think he most of the time flies on a different server. So it's like waking up at the
Okay.
next morning and seeing in the results, and it's
Yeah.
just how. And the whole German team, CG, is like, what the fuck? How did he do that? We tried our best. And yeah, we didn't make it. But yeah, it's interesting to see him leading out the pack right now. So I like to see that. And we have one guy here in our view, that's Tim Madsen, sitting on top of all of them. I think he's a bit higher at this part, which is pretty good. He can just join the next thermal or the next line, which he's facing for, and he's in a good position at this part.
Yeah, exactly, Ben. I think he's really well placed now. The one we will not have to miss anything now is Stewart, actually, because if someone gets a strong thermal behind him and he's getting low alone, it's not ideal. So he will probably have to take the first one and then to wait and see what he has to do, if he has to keep it or leave it. So it's going to be interesting for him. We have some more info on the left. Stewart 783 meters. They are all flying fast, as you can see now, and it's the ground speed. So they are 45 kilometers in the back now for the top 13 or 14.
So that's hard for the pilots right now. If the wind is coming from slightly behind, they need to choose whether to go to the north side of the ridge or to the south side of the ridge. And at this part with the tailwind section, it's always hard to decide. Normally, I would go for the south side because the sun on the northern hemisphere, of course, is way better aligned.
Yeah.
to the mountains.
Southwest is always better. Southwest of the clouds in northern hemisphere, it's always good. Yeah.
So some of them are going to the south side right here. So it's Cuba who's joining this big cloud ahead, and at this low level of altitude, it's hard to find the thermal. It's getting whipped around, and all is a little bit turbulent, and it's not that easy. Of course, it's easier, as I said in Condor earlier. It's easier in Condor to find these kind of thermals, but in real life, it's always hard to catch the thermals if there's a lot of wind and at the ground level.
That's going to be interesting. I think Cuba has a good one now, and they are all rushing to get to this one. We have David Redman, I cannot see, Kilo Hotel, so that's Creso and Stewart, all four of them. And Cristiano Conrado is already back. Huh? as you can see. Position 7 now is just a bit below, but is there with the leading gaggle, so it's good.
Yeah, he's finally back. I think his altitude went quite well, and he's joining the thermal as well. Has enough altitude for it.
And he is joining it from below. I was just
Yeah.
jumping into his live streaming actually to see if what was his altitude, and it's
That's
pretty
interesting.
crazy. Yeah.
But he's able to get it.
Not
Yeah,
easy. Eh?
no, I thought he was a bit higher, but I fingers crossed for him to get some altitude right here. And as you can see, it's hard to center the thermal right here. It's below the ridge or the top level of the mountain, and maybe the thermal is already a bit above this mountain, and that would be very bad for him at this part of the race. And you can see only 3 meters. He's trying another circle now to the right, but I think he's unable to catch it, so it's up to him to continue. Yes, and he does so.
Yeah, we will see. Let's get back to the race now. Thanks, Sebastian. TKM now leading. We have Kuba as well at 1,400 meters, and TKM is just left the thermal, but they were all taking. I think he's had enough of this thermal or of the people playing with him. In this one, maybe it was just too busy. Sometimes it happens, when you are just flying, taking thermal. Sometimes you climb well, and other times you just don't climb well, and you can see the others just climbing like this, and you're just next to them, and you just don't climb. So it's really frustrating. So you just leave and you try to get another one. Yeah, sometimes it's like this. You're not in the good mood or whatever, and it just doesn't work for you at that time. So you need to accept it and move forward and try to get something else sometimes. Or you need to stay patient and stay in your thermal. It depends, but it's not easy to stay when everyone is just catching you up.
Yeah, absolute. And it could be a tactic of Tim right now. Maybe he's like facing for another one and want to put some pressure on the other guys to say like, hey, I'm here as well. I just pass you by, guys. What are you doing? Thermaling at this part of the race. So different strategies right here. And Tim is on a straight track right now. And
they are really flying fast, no? Don't you think?
Yeah, of course it's ground speed once again. So we have like 30 or 40 kilometers per hour tailwind. So at least they're flying 180 kilometers per hour indicated airspeed around, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's not that fast. They've climbed quite well so far, and they had a lot of ridge lift at the first part of the race. So I think I would fly a bit faster with this strong headwind. So probably around in Condor right now, of course, 210 or 220 kilometers.
Yeah.
So I would definitely speed up a little bit because it's a very, very good thermals. They're like 4 or 5 meters on some of them. So just go for it.
So I've seen on the live of Cristiano that he's taken 4 meters per second behind. So it's good for him. I'm watching as well Tim Madsen. I'm gonna probably try to show you that later, but Tim is leading the race now, and he's streaming as well the race. I'm just looking at who's live streaming the race now, so we can get some more views of the pilots.
Yeah, it's pretty nice that they are streaming as well, so you can instantly see what these guys are seeing. So that's very interesting for new pilots in Condor joining and to see what others do or how they fly. And if you then join a server and try it yourself, you have some experience already. And I know like Norman the same way of seeing Tim's streams, and he's a good pilot right now as well. So
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
everybody can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, just try it. And yeah, we didn't have the time to talk about it for the previous races and so on. But on virtualgliding.fai.org, you can actually see what you have to do to buy Condor and how you can join us. We maybe need to put that page more. Yeah, you
More
need to
clear.
see it more in front of everyone so that people can see it and so on. But there is really a page that you can see and follow to see how to race with us. There is a page to learn how to fly and understand the sky. This kind of a process to follow to be able to reach that level where you can compete. It's not difficult. You go by Condor. You can have flight lessons within the game already. Then you can start to play and to understand the thermals, the ridges, the mountain wave, and so on. You can start to play online every evening, or we are doing 2 training races per week when there is no event. So in between the events, 2 to 3 training per week. On Sunday for the beginners training, and then it's Tuesday and Thursday, I think. And that's for the ultimate pilots, I would say. So you should join on Sunday for the beginners. There is a really nice Cloud Street on that live streaming from a team, on that view from team. So you start to play Condor, you learn how to fly, then you understand the sky. You start to play online to get to know what are the rules of gliding and so on, and then you can join and compete to our events. Really easy, a few steps to follow. It will only take a few weeks to be able to fly properly, and probably 2 to 3 months to be able to come and compete with us to that level, and then more months to be able probably to qualify to a virtual SGP final, because it's only the 20 best pilots in the world. So it will need some effort from you to be able to do that, but it's not impossible to do, for sure.
Yeah, and feel free to join. I think I already told about it, but the best things you can do is join these kind of chin races every evening at it's 15:30 UTC at the moment.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
17:30 Middle European summertime. And these are French races, and you have a big community there, and can talk with almost every pilot on TeamSpeak and this kind of stuff. So that's very interesting for beginners, and keep that in mind for racing. And of course, you can join right here as well. So it's not a Hexenwerk.
Yeah.
And as Norman would say at the end, the fat lady thing. So wie war das? Yes, but back to the race. We had Tim seeing this very good Cloud Street right there, and everybody's getting a little bit low at this plateau area. We have a ground level of around 700 or 600 meters right here, and you have a look, they have altitude of 1000 meters, and Kuba is trying to catch a thermal right there. And it's, as I said, once again, it's really hard to center them that low. But he's continuing and seeing another opportunity. And we have Kelvin van Baalen right behind the guy from South Africa. So for him, it's winter at the moment. That's very interesting. Of course, he's sitting on the southern hemisphere then. And he's flying while it's cold, but I don't know if it's cold in South Africa at the moment. Let me check that one.
Yeah. I'll let you do that. I was writing down stuff for the next races. When we do that, I have some more ideas because it's really only the very beginning of what we are doing now, and there are plenty of things coming that we need to set up. everything, and it will take some time. First thing first, basically, we still have to finish some more work, and then we'll be able to have proper events and live streamings. We can see Cristiano now trying to get a good thermal, and my head is already bending towards the screen. And I'm like, okay, now we're turning left. And Gerd Bodenhausen has reached turn point 1 or 2. I
One.
think it's 1, and he's behind. Yeah, running late. Maybe he started quite late the race. That's why.
Yeah, we don't know, but we can see the field being close to the line on their way to the second turn point. That's quite good. The wind is almost tailwind at this part of the race, so it's hard for them to fly rather south or north around these ridges, and it's getting a little bit higher. So the ground is coming closer, and the clouds are coming closer, and it's hard at this part to find the right tactic. But everybody's somehow getting through, and without even thermaling that much. But few other guys are behind and getting some higher altitude. For example, Jarmo Karalainen, Juliet Kilo, who has flown already 75 kilometers.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Kuba is 11 kilometers ahead. So
Yeah.
very well flown of him.
He's a top pilot and a top leader in that event in Poland. Yeah, it would be great for the Polish pilots to win their home event. That's for sure. Ronnie Lindell was very close to winning one of the race in Boros. He was winning actually during live streaming, but he got a small penalty after the after scoring, and he ended up at the third or fourth position for that day because all the pilots were arriving at the same time, and he just lost like 30 seconds or 1 minute, and it was enough to drop from the podium. So really disappointing for him, but he's made a really good race on that particular day. It was great to see, and he's really flown very well in Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Did a few good flights right there in his home country, and he's always a good pilot, I think. And every time we jump back to Cristiano, I have a deja vu.
Deja vu. That's correct.
Struggling once again, but that's hard to see. And he maybe got a little bit too low, and it feels like every next ridge he's low again. But
yeah, that's correct. I think he's too low for every thermal. He needs to stop rushing. I think he flies too fast in between the thermals, and then he needs to climb again at ridge level, which is not easy and not the best option. But he's flying very well otherwise. That's Tim getting out from that hills area, some fields in front of him and back to the hills, but some nice cloud street air.
Yeah, they can use that one perfectly on towards the second turn point. That's pretty nice. Like to see these streets in Condor. And it's very close to the line, so not much detour. So that's pretty good for the whole of the field. But they're getting on a lee side right now of these hills, and let's see who's getting the best thermal right here. I think they should move out of the lee side, right? But Tim decided.
I tried. We call it a try. It's when you you have something good, you try on one side. It's not good at all. I'm sorry, it's the wrong side. I continue, or I lose 30 seconds and 50 meters. You choose.
He decided to continue right here because it was on this lee side with the thermals. It's always a bit tricky because they are very small and not. There's still some kind of strong in Condor, but they are always very small then, and you just feel like, oh, that's pretty good, because it's going down a lot, and then it's beep, 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 and you are, oh, I join, yeah, I should definitely join, and then it's once again
That's
going
correct.
down quite quickly.
And in real life, this kind of uh, of thermal, when you arrive a bit lower than someone else, you're never sure that you're gonna make it and you're gonna have the thermal. When you are that low, at like 400, 500 meters ground level, you don't know if you're gonna be able to climb in the same thermal that the guy has 200 meters above or 500 meters above. So it can be really, really tricky to fly fast in real life to that ground altitude and then try to get thermal. And Kelvin is already living at 1200 meters, so it's probably not a very good one or very strong one.
Yeah, as the hills are getting a little bit flatter. Flatter, yes, of course. But it's not these nice thermals that we have had before. So everybody's struggling, and you can see he's joining the thermal, and it's going down 3 meters on the other side. And now, once again, 3 meters up and 3 meters down. So hard,
Yeah.
hard to center them with this wind and all this stuff. But I think everybody's performing quite well.
Yeah.
And definitely Tim does at the moment. He pushed himself a little bit into the front again, and tries to get towards the cloud base to use the cloud street much more efficient than before.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the thermals are not easy to take today, and I think that's the main reason why they fly quite low. Because every time they try to fly, well, to get a good thermal, and then they just end up living at 1200 meters and so on. Oh yeah, look at Tim living at 1300 meters now. The ceiling is more than 2000 meters, but they all live at 1300 because it's not good enough to stay, and they believe that it's stronger in front of them. So they just found a good one because they had maybe twice a 4 meters per second one. So they just want to get 4 meter again. If they had that before, they should have that now as well. So they're looking for a big one. I'm checking who's ICU here. I don't see him. I see you. Oh, that's Kelvin Van Balen. Sorry.
Yeah.
He is on 18th position on the overall results. He only flew 3 races. I know in South Africa he's had some issues with power outage, internet outage, unfortunately. So he's had to cancel some of the races. He's been able to fly on over slots, but it's been very difficult for him. So hopefully it will be better for the next event. We've had some issues as well in the Baltic countries with some internet servers outage there as well due to the war in Ukraine, unfortunately. So some of the pilots are not lucky during our events. They are more lucky at some dates than others. So they try to fly every event to get a chance to qualify, and hopefully at each event it works for them. But it's not always the case, unfortunately. So I hope it will improve and will work better in the future. But it's difficult for us on our side to do more because the servers are worldwide servers, and we cannot control sometimes the problems from internet or local areas. So let's hope for the best in the future for them.
Yeah, absolute. And of course, we have different servers running, so there will be another server later and tomorrow. So we have a lot of results coming in a little bit later. It's only the server at starting at 2030 Middle European Summer Time or 1830 UTC, which we are covering here in these live streams. And maybe we can change that for the races which are on the other side of the world.
Of the globe. Yeah, exactly. And but I think with this race tonight, we will be able to say who is the first and second who will qualify to the world final. I think, or it will be in between 3 pilots at the end of the day today. But I think with the first one to cross the finish line, we'll be able to say if he has qualified or not. because really the best pilots on this event are on this server so far. So
yeah, let's see who will make it. We have a long headwind section ahead after turn point 2, and it's hard for them to find the best way through the mountains. Then it's not going to work out that they stay that low. I think they definitely need to thermal, and they will get pushed back towards the turn point number 2 every time they circle. So it's interesting. They definitely should get as high as possible to the next turn point. So let's see if they find another good one. And I'm looking forward to the different kind of tactics. We have Kelvin van Baalen in front right now, flown already 112 kilometers.
yeah,
which
that's
was
a small gap in between him and Tim already. 2.2 kilometers, and same behind Tim and David Redman. Small gap again.
and that's fun to see. They everybody else is seeing Kelvin here joining this thermal, and I think there will be like the flies just joining it as well. Of course, the best one is above the water. We know that from Boros.
Indeed, I'm checking Tim Madsen's live streaming to see what Kelvin is having now. He's gonna join in a few seconds only. Let's see. I'm gonna tell you guys. I don't want to give too much info to the guys behind by telling the info, but we're live, huh? And it will only help the pilots to get closer and closer, and it will be more exciting for all of us at the end. And Richard said, "Good luck, Team Gert and Richard, for the race tonight on Team's channel."
Yeah,
Checking the comments.
it's really nice to see guys flying together. Like for example, Gerd and Tim, and the other guys on their channel, and the Polish guys as well. So that will be interesting for the final as well. If we have like a bit of more team flying then, because the Polish guys, they are really quick when they fly together. They are R2 this quick.
Yeah.
So so it's it will be way more interesting to see that in the final in Italy next summer. And I'm looking forward to get a few German guys as well, because last time I think mostly everybody flew on his own, so that was made again a different tar to the kind of racing. But if we have like a little bit more team flying, that will be interesting to see.
And I think something that would be really, really fun to do and to watch will be the World Cup at the end of the year, the virtual World Cup. So that's going to be a kind of virtual road gliding championship, and probably there will be plenty of teams flying together. I think it's going to be much more flying between national people. The French, Germans, Polish, British people. I think they will all try to fly together to try to get more points. I think we're going to have very interesting strategy during this type of events. For Sailplane Grand Prix, it's a bit different. Everyone tries to fly on his own to get his points. Philosophy is a bit different. Everyone starts at the same time as well. So we will see what happens. But for sure, when they play together, they are really good. The Polish, they train every evening. Vitold said that they quite often beat him off every evening as well, Arthur and Kuba. So just imagine the level of those guys.
Yeah, absolute. It will be very hard. I know I flew a lot of
to keep the title, yes.
absolute. We have like the top pilots joining there, so it's well, it definitely will be hard for me as well, especially if it's summertime. In the winter time, it's way more like Condor time. But if it's summer here in Germany, I try to fly in real life, and so I'm not that trained, and I tend to to do these real life racing in Condor then as well, and it doesn't work out most of the time. But let's see for next year what will happen. What will happen then?
Yeah, we will see. We will see. I think it's gonna be a very nice event. I'm looking forward to see everyone and to be able to have a big event. I think we will still have to talk about it. Well, we still have to plan all of this and to organize it. But I think that it will not be at the same time as the Sailplane Grand Prix final. I think it might be a different schedule than that. It can be the week before or after, or it can be really somewhere else on the planning, and maybe not the same races. Maybe an exclusive esport event. We think about it. It might be more interesting for the public as well. For sure, the same rules, well, the same SGP rules, I guess, but maybe not the same task. Maybe not the same landscape every day. Uh, I think it's gonna be very interesting to follow. It might be one race on each landscape, or two race on the AA2 on the Arc Alpin in the Alps. It can be some races in one race in Boras. It can be one race in every national country as well. We will see. I mean, national event of SGP events. So one race in for each event. We will see what we will do. It still has to be discussed within the FAI virtual gliding working group that will be set in a few days, I believe, with new people joining that working group. There's going to be quite a lot of communication in the coming days, I think. And we are back with Kuba in the race, and Creso, they are not high.
Which is bad at this part of the race. Everybody else joined the thermal above the lake, and they are on a straight line, and these guys still try to catch some ridge lift down there, which is a good way to go, but they will get washed down towards the turn point right now, and it will be hard for Kuba to gain altitude right here. We can't really see a cloud on the way towards turn point 2, and he is very low at this part.
So that's to the right, huh? Turn point 2. I think
Yes.
that's to the right for us. That's correct.
Yes, he flew to the south to gain some altitude against the wind, so he can fly north again. And
look at him, 2,000 meters. Huh?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Just checking his last thermal. Yeah, he's at more than 3 meters per second above the lake, actually.
Perfect.
So,
as we said, the best thermals above the lake. That's pretty good, and he's now the highest, if I'm right. So Kevin van Baalen is trying to go for a different strategy, speeding up a little bit, and Tim just sit on top. That's pretty comfortable for him right now. He's the highest at this part of the race. And
Arthur as well has made a good choice. I think he's at 1900 meters now. Arthur Duke, Alpha 33. So it's one of the guys who can win the event, Arthur. He just need 700 to 800 points, I think, to win. And so if he's in the top 3, he may win the event, and he's probably qualified to the world final, because he only has 5 races scored in Condor Club, and he's on 4th position. All the other pilots have 6 races, and he's already at 4,100 points. So he just need 700 or 800 points tonight to win.
Yeah, he did a good job at Boros as well. So I said I apologize for my for my thing right there back there where I said he's just following, but he did a few very good decisions at the races back at Boras, and I think that worked out for him as well here in Poland for him and in his home country. So he's getting in front, and I like to compete with him. at the
Yeah.
final.
Yeah, that would be quite nice to see at least another Polish guy. I think we will have 2 or 3 Germans, 2 or 3 Polish guy at the world final. Probably Tim will get a ticket at some point. 1 or 2 British guys. I hope 1 French guy, maybe. But there are only 20 places, so it's gonna be very difficult. David Redman, I believe, will get a ticket as well from Australia. It might be the only one from Oceania to get a ticket. We will see. But we will see all those guys at the end of the year for the World Cup. It's gonna be amazing to have all those nationalities. So virtual SGP is not gonna be the same as the first event, because first event was 1 pilot per country, and we've had pilots from everywhere around the world, Asia, Oceania, for Japan, from South America, from the US with Josh Mayers, who still needs to compete to get his ticket. Josh, I think maybe he's flying in real life now, so maybe he doesn't have the time yet to join and do those events. But yes, quite some good pilots that we will see at least for the World Cup event. But for the World Final, only the 20 best. It's not the same as before. So we will get more German nationals, Polish nationals, and so on. Not only 1 pilot per nationality.
Yeah, and that differs to the first one. Then, so that will get interesting. And what will get interesting as well is the next leg. They have full headwind right now after this turn point.
Yeah.
And it will be very hard to get back home to what's the pronunciation of Tsar?
It's Jar.
Jar.
Apparently, yeah, with a J.
Okay.
Say it with a J, so Jar.
Yeah. So with a Jar, unfortunately I can only be here for 5 more minutes, then I need to go and step out and give the microphone back to Zeb. But I think at this part of the race it will definitely get decided who's staying high on this part, who's getting the best thermals. And we already can see the fields, well, the front 3 guys splitting up, because Tim is going for a straight line towards the turn point, and the others are joining for the thermal, which is marked by the field already. So Tim is going for a straight line, and look at his indicated airspeed. It's 190 kilometers per hour, and it's 2.1 McReady settings. So that's interesting. I thought they would fly faster with these thermals, but on this part of the race right now, it's
not easy.
really important to stay high.
Yeah, he doesn't have. He's at like 1600 meters now. He needs to go to the next clouds. There is a small gap, and actually there is a gap as well between himself and the competitors. He has quite a good lead now, Tim. So very well done from him.
Yes, and we have the other Gaggle right behind, gaining the altitude for the turn point. So that's fun to see them climbing and to get as high to the turn point as possible. And it's easy for Kelvin and Kuba to Arthur to join this thermal. That's marked already, but it doesn't seem to be that good.
Oh, and Arthur is already leaving to get another one. Yeah. It's not easy for the pilots now. It's going to be headwinds for, I think, 73 kilometers. I'm going to check that again. It was a 92 kilometers leg, and now indeed it's 73 kilometers. And they have 80 kilometers to do from turn point 2 to the finish, so 80.
So a long way for them. And even with this high altitude ground level, it's you get low very quickly. And we saw earlier in the race, as we watched the stream of Charlie Oscar November, he got washed down in the lee side. And if that happens to you, that's very frustrating, and it's really hard to get out of that on this tailwind section.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not going to be easy now, this leg. They went really fast, more than 145 kph average, but they were all downwind. Now with the headwind, maybe they will still be at 145 at the end of the race with the long final glide. We will see that, but it's not going to be easy now for the pilots. That's a good thermal, 2.6 here with Cristiano, I believe. So that's cool. We have Stewart Henschel who turned turn point 3 now. Turn point 2, sorry, Oravice. And Kelvin is living in front of you. I see you. He's left the thermal. ROC is there. They're all on their way to turn point 2. So that's Kelvin now back in the game, behind and chasing TKM on his right. They don't take the same strategy here. I think Kelvin is going for this cloud and then going to the right to the lake, while Tim will have to face the hills. So Kelvin is trying to avoid maybe more hills and to get the flatlands instead that the hills. TKM will have difficult conditions. I think he needs to climb in under this cloud, and then he will have another long glide to get to the next one.
And they're trying to get around this hill, which is on their way towards next turn point, and then trying to see if they go around on the north or on the south side. That will be interesting to see, but I need to jump out now, Antoine. So
Yeah,
we will get back Sepp right here, and I will look at the results tomorrow at the flights and what they have done. And I like to see 2 more pilots qualified for the final then. So I'm looking forward to the finish tonight, but I will jump out and Sepp will get back probably. And I hope we see each other in 1 week in Lithuania.
yeah. Probably. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you too. And everybody have a nice evening. See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's continue with the race. We are still with Tim. We have his live streaming running now, and back with Sebastian on the screen. And you can see his nice livery, his nice skin from Denmark that was made for him for the first virtual SDP World Finals. So he has his own skin that is received for the event. It was really cool. So Tim leading the race, as we can see, 148 kph I've seen on the screen. So it's quite good and strikes strong for him. You're a bit taller than me, Sebastian. Looks like.
Like this. Is it better?
This is better.
Okay. So maybe you want to talk about the next race?
Yeah, let's talk about the next race. Shall we jump straight into the subject by showing some pictures from the LS3? So LS3 is being released tomorrow, and you will be able to use it for the next event in Lithuania. So it's going to be in 8 days on the 29th of May. That's a picture taken over the Lietuva 2 landscape scenery that was made by some guys from our team and from the community. So improved landscape in Lithuania, and that's the LS3 from Vic Schoenemakers that you will be able to buy as from tomorrow. Very, very nice plane. You will love it. There is a blue skin like this. Then you have a red skin with the red nose, and you have as well the skin from Stefan Langer, which is not there, but you will see it tomorrow for sure. It's a great skin. That's a great forest of Lithuania, guys. It's gonna be amazing there. Probably very nice weather. I need to check on SkySight what they are planning for the next weeks, but it's gonna be amazing there. The forests in Lithuania are really, really strong. I hope it's gonna be the same in the game. You will love it. On the left side of the screen, that's Paluknis Airport, just below the winglet, the right wing there. So on the left side, you have the hangars and the beginning of the landing strip there. The wings are bending quite well as well when you push and pull to play dolphin. So that's a flapped glider. That's kind of a LS4 with flaps, and it flies really well. It climbs really, really well. So you will be able to fly with the LS3 or the ASW20, and that's the first cockpit with the open vario, as you can see. So you have the GPS, the PDA right in front of you instead of having it on the side. So that's the first aircraft in Condor to have this. And you will probably get those type of thermals with 4 meters per second, I hope. It's going to
When
be
you
a
buy
really
the glider, you have the correct thermal.
exactly.
As
If
gift.
you have this glider, you win. Yeah, nice, really nice model, and you will get if you buy it tomorrow, you will get it as well for free in Condor 3. That will come out at some point, hopefully this year, before the end of the year. It will be great. There's still some work to do on Condor 3, but you will get the same glider for free with improved. It's not going to be the same glider. Actually, it's going to be much more improved in the cockpit and so on. It's really a new game, and you will probably love it with new features. The landing strip is just there below me. You can see maybe. So that's the airfield of Paluknis. That's southwest of Vilnius in Lithuania. So and the nice forest again, and you will see it's amazing to fly there. I hope you will really enjoy the races there. It's the only event where you will fly 15-meter class and old 15 meters, so ASW20 and LS3. So just do it. I think it's going to be plenty of fun. It's really different from what the virtual SGP and SGP is usually. So just go and do it. There are 14 pilots, I think, who are registered for the real event already, and there are more than 27 or 30 pilots who have registered tonight on the virtual SGP event. You can do that by joining virtualglidingfai.org. Then you go on schedule, and then you can click onto Lithuania, Paluknis, and then you can register from there. And then you go on condor.club and so on, and you follow the procedure. It's explained there. Hope to see you there in 9 days, 8 days.
Okay. What is the first date of this race?
So it starts on the 29th of May, so in 8 days, but there's going to be some training already going on next week, unofficial training on Tuesday and Thursday, correct?
Yeah, correct. Tuesday and Thursday for unofficial trainings.
And then official training. There is at least
Official
one day official training on the 28th, maybe 2 days, but so far it's planned with 1 day official training. So actually you already have 3 days to train next week with the LS3 or the SW20, plus probably the races on Chin Chin and other servers that are quite busy every day. Riders of Far Rave every evening as well at 9 p.m. Central Eastern Time. So you will have plenty of races to train for next week, and we will release more info in the coming days about the rules and so on for that.
So it's still possible to register for the next week Lithuania
Of course.
qualifying Grand Prix, virtual Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And the first race, real race, will be the first race for the qualifying will be the 13th.
13th.
Yeah,
My bad.
so.
13th. Yeah. Yeah. The dates have been moving back and forth for the past few weeks.
Yeah, sorry, you are right. Because it's
29th?
end on the 13th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first race will be the 29th. So
That's
the
correct.
Sunday 29th, in just a bit more than 1 week.
Yeah, and official training in a week on Saturday. Saturday 28th, official training. That's correct. Just checking on their website if they have released the local procedures, because we are using the same procedures. So I'm just checking that quickly. No, that's still bulletin number 1. So yeah, for them in real life, unofficial training was planned on 26th and 27th, official training 28th, and then opening ceremony 28th, and then contest flying 29th to the 4th of June. That's correct. And for us, it will end up on the 5th of June, obviously, because there is the servers on the next day. We've had, I think, one outlanding there.
Yeah.
2 kph. Tim Madsen at 1,000 meters almost, flying quite well.
Okay, it's not so high.
It looks very difficult with the wind, huh? Very difficult. He's trying to get somewhere to climb, looking for a lift. Let's jump into the cockpit now. He's looking. There's a small hill with the wind pushing there, and we can see the shadow on the ground. And I think he's just looking for the thermal that should be around here. Come on, team. I hope you will be able to climb there. Allez, 1 meter per second. 1.5. Should go up to 2. 2 meters. Not an easy one. I'm getting some water while we're watching team. Still at 2.1 meter on the McCready.
So are you used to? And Antoine, we are back again.
Let's jump into it. Let's jump into the race tonight. Sorry for the small issues we've had. Let's continue with this live streaming. We have ICU, so that's Kelvin Van Balen leading the race, followed by Sierra 19 and Arthur Duke, who may win the event if he stays in that position on the third place. Tkos from Poland as well on fourth place. GKA, the Finnish pilots, followed by TKM, and David Redman, Kuba, is on eighth position, and Cristiano Conrado. Ninth position, sorry. Kreso Rastovek from Croatia, 10th. We have Stewart Henschel from Great Britain, from the UK on 11th position. Let's continue. Kelvin at 966 meters. They've flown 75 kilometers, and we have 215 kilometers tonight to follow. That's only 40 kilometers to go before crossing the finish line for our pilots tonight. If you have some comments, guys, please ask them in the chat, and we will try to answer that.
Okay, they are maybe at the middle of the third leg.
Yeah, exactly, because 73 kilometers leg. So it's more or less the middle, and we have 40 kilometers to go now for Kelvin and Arthur. So it's gonna go fast, even though they have quite a strong headwind now. They need to climb maybe 2 thermals, maybe 3 with that wind to be able to come back to ZAR. And moreover, they need to arrive at more than 752 meters abeam the reservoir of Jar. So not an easy one for the pilots tonight.
What do you think about their altitude?
They are not that high. Arthur is quite okay at 13, almost 1400 meters now. I think he can catch one of the cumuluses ahead. He's trying to avoid the hills, and then he will probably turn to the right and get the cumulus that we can see the shadow there on the right. I think that's his plan. I will probably try to climb here. Then I will try to climb only after the turn point in
report point.
turn point 3. Yeah. So not easy to do, but I will try to do that. If I cannot, I will climb just a bit before to make sure that it works. Kelvin is quite low now, 1,000 meters, but that's lower than that, above ground level, probably 500 meters above ground level here, and 300 meters above ground level in that valley on the left. So not easy for Kelvin, the pilot from South Africa.
And we have Sean in third place.
Yeah,
for the
Sean
timing.
Churchill from the UK as well. They're probably flying together sometimes with Stewart and Scholl, GHK. So good one. Yeah, Arthur is quite high. He's taken the lead for sure. Arthur now at 1300 meters. It's really good. He has 3 kilometers more than Sierra 19, even more on the others. So he's taken a very good option to win the race, the day, and the event. Great flying.
Okay, so Arthur is going to the right side, maybe under this cloud to try to catch some altitude as you planned.
Yeah, I hope for him he will be able to make it. As that's a good view. We can see David Redman below as well. They are all quite low. I think it was very difficult for Tim Madsen to climb here. Yeah, Tim is only at 1,770 meters behind. So he's trying to avoid the hills as well. Again, it's difficult.
Very
For the
difficult
pilot.
for Tim, yeah.
Yeah, but the hills are quite high. There is a good ceiling, but I think they just don't manage to climb high enough. It seems to be quite difficult today to climb. So yeah, not an easy race.
So on left side we can see the current average made by the pilots. So I think they slow down a bit.
Yeah, exactly. It was 145 kph at turn point 2, and now on the way to turn point 3, headwind 130 kph only for Arthur, which is flying very well, but for the others it's around 120, 127. There's a small gaggle between the British guys, Australian, Polish guys in front. So interesting to see. They are all stuck more or less at the same point, and Arthur, I think, is just trying to get some lift and try to fly safe to the end, because now he has a good lead and a good gap with the others. Yeah, I can see the live of Tim as well on my screen, and he's getting low. And it's really not easy at all for him now. Not easy. He needs to cross those hills. Arthur is flying well. 1,300 meters, we can already see the start, the finish, and the turn point. So the turn point that he needs to go to is the one on the left. The start is in the middle. That's the big window that you see in the middle of the screen, and then the finish line is a very small one that you see on the right side in the background there. And a view from GS3 of Arthur Duke. Uncompensated view, but we can see what he can see in front of him. That's really nice with the GPS there. He's trying maybe to get something. No, let's continue. Let's continue for him. Yeah, I thought he would have something, but he didn't find a good one there. So we can see Kelvin now pushing behind him. He's been able to manage to pass those hills, so it's good for him. I think if he can handle the turmoil in front of him, if it's a good one, he may be able to catch up Arthur. If it's a good one, we will see, because Arthur didn't find anything. But he will most probably just continue. We'll see what will be his choice. And we have a new learning out with Jarno Karjalainen from Finland. I think it's Jarno. Yeah, Jarmo, sorry. Jarmo from Finland has outlanded.
So we still have 15 pilots flying.
Yeah. So we've had at least 10 outlandings, I think. 8 to 10 outlandings.
So it's a challenging task.
Yeah, it's a challenging task, challenging last race. So it's difficult to get those bonus points. That's because of the wind. That's because of the wind. The thermals are not as great as the past few days, so it's much more difficult for the pilots. It's the kind of weather that we have for the World Final, actually. Yeah? Correct, Seb?
Yeah.
And as you can see, the best ones, they still fly at 130 kph with that type of weather. It's crazy. It's difficult, but they can still manage to fly very fast. So it's really the best of the best who will fly the World Final. And we have from Julien Nieta on YouTube. Hello and good luck to everyone flying tonight. Greetings from Belgium. So thanks for watching us again. Julien is watching us almost every races, or maybe every races. So it's really kind from him. So Julien, if you were not here before, Norman is not with us tonight, but he will be back for the next races. He just couldn't join us for personal reasons, unfortunately, but he will be back very soon, probably in Lithuania in 8 days for the first official race on the 29th of May. And if you were not here a few minutes ago, you can still register to the event, the virtual GP event. You go to virtualgliding.fai.org, or you just tap and click virtual gliding on Google, and you will find the website for sure. And you can go to schedule Lithuania Paluknis virtual SDP, and you will find the way on how to register. You need to register on condor.club and to check all the info on the official virtual gliding website.
So maybe it's time for Arthur to take some altitude.
Yeah, probably. I think yes, maybe a good one. We can see the shadow here. I think it's just in front of him, and the shadow is displaced to the northeast. Yeah, that's correct. A really good cloud. There are probably 2 thermals under that one. He will need to find a good one, and it should be the last one for him, I think. It's going to be difficult to get to that turn point anyway. But then after the mandatory reporting points, there are only 6.5 kilometers to reach the finish line. And it looks like a win of the day for him if he can manage to climb here.
Okay, we got another outlanding.
Yeah. Did you see who it was?
It was Zach.
Zach. Zach from Poland, I think, as well. Janusz Zach. Jazz. Correct. He was leading the race at the very beginning of the race. He was one of the first Polish pilots there on the first leg. Probably one of the first to cross the start line. We've lost plenty of people tonight, indeed, with the very difficult weather condition that we have and that they have had as well today. Thilo Oligos in the 23 only completed the task at 100 kilometers per hour. So they're already flying faster than the guys in real life, but it's really difficult already in the game.
Kelvin, who is lower than Arthur and behind him. Hey guys, it's time to take some altitude if you want to finish.
Just saying to Cristiano that he needs to stay strong, stay high, be patient to complete the task. It's the most important to complete the task. He has done some hill or ridge flying. He's just doing some eights, and he will try to climb higher. It looks like a very strong wing, 45 kilometers from the 300 degrees, so from the northwest. A very difficult headwind conditions for the guys there, and they have a good one behind with Kuba, Mr. Redman, TKM. That's the big gaggle, I would say, and then Arthur is just way in front, followed by Kelvin Van Balen. One of his main results, Kevin, a very good result tonight if he can keep that place. Just checking all the competition days to check if he had a podium already on day one. Kelvin, very strong pilot.
But Kelvin need to climb to be able to finish.
Yeah, as I said previously during the live, he was really unlucky with his internet and internet connection. He has had some power outage as well in South Africa, so he was not able to fly every evening. I think he has only completed 3 or 4 tasks, so he cannot score very well with the best 6 results out of 7, unfortunately.
Let's go back to the front of the race with Arthur, for the time being leading over the lake.
So Julien is saying on YouTube, thanks for the info about the registration in Lithuania. I'll try to register for the next race. It will be challenging because I only fly on club class. Don't worry, Julien, because the next one is the one for you. It's going to be 15-meter class and not 18-meter class, and old 15-meter class, meaning only LS3 and ASW20 will be able to compete the virtual SGP in Lithuania. So club class gliders with some water. So it's going to be perfect for you if you come and join. And I think plenty of pilots will come, and it will be plenty of fun to fly those races in Lithuania. Strong weather often in Lithuania, so plenty of fun. I hope I will be able to do one of the races, maybe in the afternoon, the day after, so I don't disrupt anyone or whatsoever. But if I have some free time during one of the afternoon, I will try to fly one of the race. It looks really amazing, and I have really good memories there in Lithuania. So just come and do it. LS3 is being released tomorrow, and it's a really nice glider. So 15 miles, yeah.
Yeah, Arthur is taking his maybe last thermal. So we see that the report point behind and on the right, the finish line.
Indeed, only 15 kilometers to complete for Arthur, and the wind is just in front of him, so he needs to climb, because otherwise he's just gonna go down. As you can see, he's a very bad variometer now. He needs to find the lift somewhere here, because he might lose the race otherwise. Kelvin is there, and you can see all the pilots, they are high now, but they will still need to get a cloud and a thermal just like him. So good luck, Arthur, for this last one. Kelvin almost 1,000 meters behind, and Stewart has catched up quite a lot. Stewart, as you can see, is quite high with the leading gaggle, well, the second gaggle, I should say. That's impressive. Yeah, they are taking this route, and then they will turn to the right. They have a nice cloud street here. And Arthur is struggling. Actually, we may have a very, very close finish between those pilots that are still flying tonight.
So Arthur is very close to the turn point, the report point, so the last turn point for this race, for this final race, but he is too low to take this turn point. and others are coming
Ha.
fast.
And he's not climbing very, very well, huh? Wow, 843, 800. He's not climbing very well, so it's gonna be difficult for him.
Go, Arthur, go! Keep concentrated.
Yeah, keep focus on
Focus.
on your task and try
Turn off
to
YouTube or Twitch.
just stay focused and try to climb. Try to get there. I think Vitold is watching you. John Davis saying on YouTube, looks like Stewart Henshaw, GHK has jumped from 8th to 3rd place. Exactly. He's really well placed now. And he may be it might be a surprise for the end of. And I think we've had just a disconnection in front of us. So if you are the guy who's been disconnected, just keep going, keep flying. It will be the same for us at the end. Just don't quit the game, keep flying, and we'll get your flight track after the race, and we will score you for sure. Just keep flying.
So I'm just displaying
Yeah.
the altitude for everyone. So you have an idea.
Yeah. Look at Stewart, is 1,550 meters. Is the highest one on fifth position, sorry. And Arthur has been able to climb a little bit and is leaving now. Arthur to get to that mandatory reporting point. It's going to be very difficult with the wind. It might not be enough, actually. It might be a bit tricky there, but everyone is catching him up. So he needs to continue flying, I guess. Yeah, he still have a small lead there, so it's good for him. Let's see what happens there. Very good racing. Only so it was 201 kilometers for Arthur, so only 14 kilometers to complete the task. But you need to finish at 752 meters minimum. David
So,
Redman.
what do you think, Antoine? Who will take this first finish
I,
line?
it's difficult for Archer, but I think, and I hope for him he will win. But we might have a big surprise with Stewart, because he might have the 200 meters that are missing for everyone. Maybe he has 200 or 300 more meters now, and maybe that's the meters that are missing for everyone. But as you can see, he's quite good. I think he's quite good. He might end up just passing over Arthur. We will not be able to turn that point. We will see. I think maybe Arthur has to do the full turn around the mountain there to get to that turn point because of the wind. Gonna be very difficult.
And Stewart can go directly to the turn point.
Exactly. Getting difficult for some pilots. I can see Alex at 600 meters, so it's even lower than that. He will try to get something. Yeah. Let's get back to Cuba. Cuba at 1,000 meters, and it's still very difficult to get there. Arthur, where are you, Arthur? Let's jump. Yeah, he has to avoid. So the wind is right in front of him now. He needs to be not too close to those ridges, but not too far as well, because you don't want to do a big detour. And GHK is still behind, still higher, but 1,200 meters might not be enough as well. Huh? We will see. Interesting.
Arthur is still flying fast.
And TKM has another option. TKM even is going straight for Jar, and then will take the ridge in the opposite direction. That's clever as well for TKM. So that's the finish line. He should turn to the left, huh?
Yeah, or maybe he lost the turn point. He missed the turn.
Yeah, I think I don't think he missed something. I think he just wanted to get back to that. I'm not sure. I will ask him on his live. But
Arthur, which is arriving at the end of this ridge.
Nice one.
So Arthur will be able to turn this eastern point, but
So
what
it's
is the minimal?
752, huh? 752 for this turn point as well. Huh? So they need to be high enough as well for this one. So it should be enough, but then it will probably have to take something or to use the reach before joining jar. Not easy, huh, Seb?
Yeah. You can see the finish line behind the FAI logo. Congratulations, Arthur, for this report point. But it's
Let's
not
go.
finished.
6.5 kilometers to go to reach jar. And we have Stewart and Scholl now. Oh, he's flying fast. 200 kph. He's flying really fast, Stewart. Let's look at the overall results. He was on third position, Stewart, and he can manage. If he wins, I think it should be Arthur and Stewart who qualified.
Yeah.
If he wins today,
Stewart is very fast.
Yeah, he has big chances if he wins to get qualified. He's second. He has some chances, but he's not. We will not be sure before tomorrow that he qualifies. It's going to be very close between Stewart, Michael, and Kuba. David Redman on third position so far. It will not be enough to qualify, but it will be enough for a podium, maybe for David, the Australian pilot. Stewart is catching up, flying really fast, 300 kph now. That's going to be impressive because Arthur really is flying quite slow, 230 and 300. 70 kph of difference between the two pilots, and Arthur is lower, and he will have to pull up to get to 750 meters. Let's see what we have here. There's still 1 kilometer, I think, between both pilots. Less than 2 kilometers to go. Yeah, Arthur should cross first, but then he needs to pull up. He needs to pull up and reach 752. Don't miss that one, Arthur. Don't pull too hard, but he will have some wind to help him. Probably you need to pull. You need to pull, Arthur. It's not enough yet, and it should be the win of the day for Arthur Duke, and the win of the Sailplane Grand Prix of Poland for Arthur. Well done, Arthur. Congratulations for qualifying to the Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix World Final 2023, and a great arrival from Stewart Henschel on second position. Well done. Well done to you, the British man. Second place today. Third place for the Australian man, David Redman, in his Ventus 3. We have Sean Churchill from the UK as well on fourth position. They flew really well. The British guys, they are used to fly in difficult weather conditions. Tim Madsen now with his way out and back to the reporting point, and the wind will help them now because they are downwind, and it will just blow against that ridge, and actually it will help them a lot when they pull up. Oh, that's close between David and Sierra 19 behind him. Well done to both of you. I think it was enough for David, but I have a doubt. Tim Madsen, 600 meters. He will need to pull up a bit. Be careful, Tim. It might not be enough. There are still 13 pilots competing tonight. A lot of outlandings, more than 10 for sure. Kuba flying 240 kph.
It's a bit low.
Exactly. Tim, and it's not enough for Tim. He will need to climb. He will need to use the ridge and to do some eights before crossing the line. So he might lose some points. And yes, it's going to be Kuba in front of Tim. That's very important for the overall position. And Kuba can make it. Kuba can make it. 752. It's good for Kuba, the Polish man who was leading the overall results tonight. So Kuba in fifth position. 50 km is there. It should be enough, team, now, for sure. Yes.
Congrats.
Well done.
Team.
Good flight. It was difficult to finish this one, I think. Very good pilots tonight flying. The best of this event were there.
So I think we got our first finishers.
Yeah, that's really really good. My bet is that Arthur gets qualified, and it will be between Stewart and Kuba for the second place. Probably Kuba. I would guess Arthur, Duke, and Kuba would qualify. Otherwise, Arthur and Stewart. We will get the results tomorrow at 14:30 UTC time. Let's see where Cristiano Conrado is. He's the last one on the race. How many kilometers? 175 kilometers for Cristiano, so still a long way to go. You can follow his live streaming as well. You just click on YouTube Virtual SGP and you will see the stream from Tim and from Cristiano on Condor Brazil, the Brazilian guy.
So Antoine, maybe it's time to leave, to close the live.
Yeah, let's watch the landings from the guys. Here, David Redman is there. We have Kuba. So that's the upslope runway from Tsar, as you can see, with some hangars. And we have Arthur now. And there is a really special procedure here to land. If you want, you can get the inside live streaming from Tim Madsen. If you can do that now, otherwise, no big deal. He's landing now. And
I
you
do
will
not
be.
have it anymore.
It's no big deal. We have them now landing with that very big upslope runway. That's much lower than the finish line and the reservoir of Jar. Well, time to go. You can still follow the race with Cristiano Conrado. We're still flying. Stay there. Be patient. Keep pushing, Cristiano. You will make it until the end. I believe 1600 meters. Don't rush before that mandatory reporting point. It was really difficult for the pilots to turn. So be patient and do it. Congratulations, everyone, for tonight. Reminder, Arthur Duke won the Sailplane Grand Prix of Poland, and he will be qualified for the World Final. We'll get the full results tomorrow, and it will be between Stewart Henschel and Kuba from Poland for the second pilot who qualifies to the World Final, joining Benfest World Champion of the first Virtual GP, Witold Drozak, winner of the Sailplane Grand Prix of Sweden, and Arne Martin Guttler, second place of the Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix of Boras. Thank you, everyone, for watching us tonight. Thank you to Shell Focusson, the competition director of the SGP of Sweden, who was watching us as well tonight. We can go back to the studio, maybe, to say goodbye. It was a nice race to follow. Thank you to Benfest, and we will see you in less than 10 days on the 29th for the first official competition day of the Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix of Lithuania. LS3, buy it tomorrow at noon. It will be available tomorrow. Very nice glider. You'll be able to use it for the Sailplane Grand Prix of Lithuania. Thank you, Sébastien.
Thank you, Antoine.
And
see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good evening and good day.